Hey guys, it's Rock the Jake, and I have a brand new segment for Sweet Tea in a Movie that I want to call Quick Shots. This is basically where if I get behind on reviewing movies, then I can just bash them out really quickly and still give an informative opinion. I have 5 movies that I want to review, which I've written all on this postcard so I don't forget. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take a quick shot of Sweet Tea, and then I'm going to ramble on about the movie as fast as I can, but with still an educational answer for you. So let's go ahead and get started. First movie is called Rock of Ages. This is a musical with some fairly star-studded characters like Tom Cruise, Alec Baldwin, to a lesser extent Russell Brand. I know people like him, I don't. That's my thing. But this movie is actually very fun. It's a really good musical. It's got, I know it probably sounds silly to say this, but it's got a lot of music for a musical. Like a lot. But it's still really good music. And there's even some fantastic mashups in the movie. My favorite in the movie is the mashup of We Built This City on Rock and Roll versus We're Not Gonna Take It. It's a really cool scene, a really great mashup, and it's so fun. The movie is a little bit silly because it's just a straight up musical, but nonetheless it's a very fun movie and pretty good acting too. So overall I have to give this movie a 7 out of 10. It's a really good movie and it's a fun watch. You should go try it sometime. Next up we have Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. This movie stars Steve Carell and Keira Knightley from being in a lot of funny movies to being in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And the two do a great job as their respective roles. Steve Carell plays a guy who's just very disillusioned to the world, very drawn out, very straight man. He just always has a blank look on his face pretty much. And he actually does an incredibly good job of doing that. Keira Knightley, on the other hand, does a great job of acting like a bubbly yet bumbly English girl in America, and she's just fantastic. The way I can describe this movie is a happy romantic drama. It's romantic, of course, because Steve Carell and Keira Knightley are the main characters, and it's a romance, so I think you know what I'm saying. But it's a drama because basically the movie is an asteroid is heading to Earth, and there's no way to stop it. They tried. Everybody's gonna die. That's the sad thing about that. But it's happy because basically when something happy happens to the characters, and because it's such an emotionally engaging movie, you feel happy for them. And it's great. The music accompanies the movie very nicely, and it's just a really good, fantastic movie to watch. The acting is really awesome too. I mean, you have 2 really good actors on screen. I have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. It is a fantastic movie, and if you can go watch it sometime, you really should, because it'll be well worth your time. Next up, we have Brave. Now, this movie has gotten a little bit of controversy because it's a Pixar film, which, you know, they're usually known for making really good films, but people have been a little bit disappointed in it. I was skeptical when I went to see the movie, but overall I was blown away by it. There's one key relationship in the movie that I was intrigued with the entire time once it came up on screen, and I really wish I could say what it is, but I don't want to spoil it for you since it is so important. But I was so intrigued by it that I was able to look past any flaws in the movie, which in my opinion aren't really that many. And the music in the movie is fantastic. It's just so fun to listen to. The comedy is good, the acting, the voice acting is good, and the animation is flawless. I mean, it's Pixar, it looks so good. Basically, this movie, with its flaws, is still a really good movie, and it's really fun to watch. I give this movie an 8 out of 10, which is probably higher than most people are going to give it. It's a really fun movie. It's fairly great, in my opinion, and I think it deserves at least one watch out of any Pixar Disney fan or any animation fan. Next up, we have The Amazing Spiderman. Everybody's been looking forward to this one, as well as Avengers and Dark Knight, as you can see. But James Garfield as Peter Parker / Spider-Man just nails it. Spider-Man is supposed to be a quirky teenager with very quick wit, and he nails that perfectly in this movie. It personifies Spider-Man so well that it's just really great. I never disliked Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It's just he did actually look a little too old to be him in retrospect. He's still a great Spider-Man. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy is really good. She just fits the role really well. The music in the movie is pretty okay, actually. I still remember some of it, and it's fairly delightful. And the acting and the stunts and the CG, it all just looks so good. And especially Lizard as the enemy. Great acting on the part of the guy who played Dr. Connors. Just really good delivery. Overall, I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Because it's a great movie. It's really fun. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you have to see this movie. And finally, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Now, when this movie came to the attention of audiences, I'm sure a lot of people wrote it off as being a silly idea, a silly concept, or just plain weird. And I originally thought that a little bit too, but I still wanted to see it because from the trailer it looked like there were some really cool stunts. And there were. Wow. The fight scenes are so cool. And the stunts are really great. The acting is fairly good too. And the music is pretty spot on with the movie. It's dialed in right for it and it sounds pretty good. The movie does have its flaws because it's historical fiction, and usually the two biggest problems with historical fiction are either plot holes or just weird ideas. There's not really any plot holes in this movie, but it's all sort of weird to take in at times. You're supposed to suspend your disbelief a bit, but at times you just really have to think like, what the heck? Why'd that happen? But nonetheless, even with its flaws, the movie is original, it's creative, and it's enjoyable, and that's what's most important. If you've been seeing all these movies this summer and you're just craving for something, at least with a taste of originality, you should see Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Or if you just like to see vampires get killed. For Vampire Hunter, I give the movie a 7 out of 10. It's not a super great movie, but it's nowhere near bad. It's not even mediocre. It's a pretty good movie. It's enjoyable, and like I said, it has a taste of originality to it. Anybody who's looking for something original this summer should go see it. It's a really fun movie. And with that, that ends this episode of Quick Shots. I'm Rock the Jake. Peace out.